Good day, everyone. You are welcome to another episode of my law class at Abdullahi Legal Academy. My name is Abdullahi Adebayo Abdurrauf. On the episode of my law class today, I shall be explaining the natural school of law. In the previous lecture, I have explained what is law. At the same time, I've explained the features of law. If you have not yet watched the first and the second lecture, I will urge you to firstly go and watch the first and the second one before you can continue watching this one. And if this is your first time on this channel, I will urge you to go and subscribe to this channel and also press the notification bell and also like and follow our Facebook page with our username, which is Abdullahi Legal Academy. Because of many conflicting definitions that have been postulated by many scholars, the jurists, and the philosophers in the area of law based on their speculations and specializations, no single definition of law has been offered to end all the definitions of law. As a law student, it is pertinent to understand what is known as the school of law. The school of law can also be called the school of jurisprudence, and at the same time, it can also be called the theory of law. In this episode, I shall be discussing the natural school of law. Without any further hindrance, let's get into the lesson. The origin of this school is as old as man. It is the first that philosophizes on law. This school posits that law emerges from sense of morality, which itself emanates from God. It believes that law of God is divine, spiritual, naturally existing, moral, just, fair, good, universal, and applicable over the world at all times. This is according to A.C. Malemi in his book titled The Nigeria Legal Method. What this is actually talking about is that the natural school of law is the first of all the schools of law. It is as old as man. It means that it has been in existence since a long time, since the time immemorial. And the position of this school of law as regards the definition of law is that law must emanate from God, that law is defined, and any law that emanates from God and is defined must be moral, fair, and good to a human being, and it must be universally accepted. This school of law premises the definition of law on the basis of morality. It means that before you can call anything as a law, it must firstly be naturally given, it must be a God-made law, it must be defined, it must be spiritual, and at the same time, it must be fair and it must be moral. It must not go against the sense of morality. It must not go against the sense of fairness. It must not go against the sense of justice. And at the same time, it must be universally accepted at all time by everybody. This is according to how A.C. Malemi defines the natural school of law. Let's go further. It is opined by the protagonist of the natural law school that there are certain principles in every man, no matter his race or color, telling him what is fair, just, and right, motivating him to do what is right and abstain from what is evil. And that principle is referred to as natural law. Professor Abiola Sani explained to us that the protagonist of the natural law school believes that there is a certain principle in every man that tells him to do what is right and forbids him from doing what is wrong. This explains that no matter which race, color, or status that we belong to, there is a principle in you as a person dictating what is fair to you and at the same time what is unfair. It will be telling you what is good at a particular point in time, and at a particular point in time, it will be forbidding you for what is not just, what is not right, and what is not good. This is actually what Professor Abiola Sani is trying to explain to us now. And it cannot be believed that that thing in human mind that tells him and differentiates to him what is right and what is evil, and that thing that creates a sense of fairness in him, that thing that lets him to see what is justice, is what we refer to as natural law. It is natural according to natural school of law because nobody has to be telling you this. That thing is in you already. You would have already know what is right and what is wrong, what is justice and what is injustice. Let's go further. According to Okuniga, if 10 men from different countries are put in separate rooms and each of them is asked in the language that he understands whether it is good to steal, majority will say no. You yourself ask yourself, go and ask another person, is it good to steal? Many people that you direct this question to will be answering you that it is not good to steal. This is not because there has been a penalty that may await a person that is stealing, but because everybody knows by their own self that taking the property of another person is not good. Even if you ask another person, is it good to kill another person? They will say it is not good because even they themselves, they want to enjoy their lives. If you ask a person, is it good to rob? They will say no, it is not good to rob. By asking this and the answer that you are getting from them, you will be able to infer there is a voice in their sense that is telling them that this is not good. Now go into the city and start asking people one after the other that is it good to be helping one another? Is it good to be giving charity? You will see every one of them that you are asking this question will be saying yes, yes, yes. It is good to be giving charity. It is good to be helping one another. This is not because there is any punishment that will be meted on a person that decide not to help any other person, but because there is a voice in their head that is telling them that this thing is good. And that voice that is telling them that this thing is good at a particular point in time is what is called the natural law. The proponents of this school believes that what is right is clearly stated by God. Yes, this is one of the important points that must be noted here. I've explained this earlier before. The protagonist of natural law school posits that any law that is good must come from God, and any law that comes from God is good. At every point in time, it must be obeyed. Some of the philosophers that upheld this school are Zeno, St. Thomas Aquinas, Aristotle, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and many others. Their postulations have influenced many legal systems in the world. The criminal code and the penal code are some of the examples where Nigerian legal system is being influenced by the natural law school. Some offenses like murder, robbery, rape, etc. are outlawed for lacking moral credibility. And because this law school is the oldest law school on earth, it has influenced most of the legal system in the world. For example, if you come into Nigeria, how has natural law school influenced the legal system of Nigeria? When we check into the codification of our own crime and punishment here in Nigeria, that is the Penal Code Act and the Criminal Code Act, some offenses have been outlawed because they lack moral credibility. Some of those offenses are murder, stealing, robbery, incest, bestiality. All these offenses are outlawed, not just because they are outlawed, but because they lack moral credibility. Let's just take, for instance, the act of bestiality occurs when a man has sexual intercourse with an animal. That is the act of bestiality. Bestiality is a criminal offense in Nigeria. It is even a felony. Anybody that is called having sexual intercourse with an animal in Nigeria will be sentenced to 14 years imprisonment. This is according to section 214, subsection 2 of the Criminal Code Act. This offense is not only illegal, but also immoral. How will a person go and start having sexual intercourse with an animal, for God's sake? It can only happen when a person lacks moral sense. Anyways, all these offenses that are immoral are into our legal system through the influence of the natural law school. What are the weaknesses of the natural law school? Number one, it is based on morality, righteousness, fairness, and justice. But morality, righteousness, fairness, and justice are different in few. For many people, what is moral, fair, right, and just to some people may not to another set of people. This is one of the problems that natural law school has. It is wholly based on righteousness, justice, and morality. And the sense of justice, the sense of righteousness, the sense of fairness differs. As human being also differs. What is right and fair and righteous to Mr. A may not be righteous, may not be fair, and may not be moral to Mr. B. What is fair, righteous, and fair in Nigeria may not be the same in the United States of America or the United Kingdom, or in Ghana, or in Togo, or in France, or in Sierra Leone, or even in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This is just because human beings are different and we think differently, and what we like are different, and what is fair to us are also different. In the community in Nigeria, if husband and wife are about to celebrate their wedding, it is the family of the bride that will provide many things for both couple on their wedding day. I don't want to mention that community anyways, but in some community also, it is the responsibility of the groom to provide the house, the food, the clothing, and many other things that the couple will be using after the wedding. And it is moral to them, and that is fairness, and that is justice. What is orthodox to a set of people may be heresy to another set of people. Now, the second weakness. It emphasizes on law as it ought to be, rather than law as it is. There are two aspects of law that must be noted. Law as it is, and law as it ought to be. the natural law school only aligns with law as it ought to be, not law as it is. According to the natural school of law, it is what you think that is the law that is the law. It is what you think that is good at a moment in time that is the law. And if you don't forget, when I was noting the features of law, I made mention of what is called the objectivity nature of law. The objectivity nature of law explains that law must be taken as it has been seen. But the natural school of law say no. Law must be taken as you feel that it is. If you think that something is bad, that thing is bad. If you think that something is wrong, thing is wrong. But if you think that something is right in your own thinking, that means that that thing is right. If you're talking about the law as it is, there must have been a laid down rule that everybody in a society must always refer to. The natural law school says no, it is what you think that is the law. It is what you feel that is moral that is the law. A person that wake up this morning and says that he want to kill two people, that is what is good to him at that point in time. And because the natural law school say yes, what you think is good at any moment in time is the law. That means that by that person saying that he wants to kill two people that day, it means that to him at that moment in time, that is the law and it must be abided, it must be followed. This is one of the weaknesses that the natural law school has. Now, the third weakness. Law of God may not be upheld by those that do not believe in the existence of God. When we are talking about the law of God and that the law of God must be followed every time and that any law that is good must have come from God and that law is defined, there are some people that do not even believe in God. If you now say that law has come from God, does that mean that those people are exempted from abiding by the law? Are you telling us that those people cannot follow the law since they do not believe in God that make the law? Are you telling us that those people are free to do anything that they like because they do not believe in God that made the law? Let's go to the fourth weakness. It would be dangerous to leave the people to choose what is right and wrong based on what their minds tell them. It is very dangerous to leave the people to choose what is right or wrong by themselves, or to leave the people to choose what is right and wrong with their own mind. Because at any moment in time, if I'm hungry and I want to eat food chicken, for example, does that mean that I may go to an eatery and go and take their chicken and eat it and say I will not pay? Because that is what my mind tells me that I should eat and I should not pay. And logically, is what I am doing at that moment in time, is it right? No. What I'm doing at that moment in time is wrong. Why will I say because I'm hungry and I want to eat food chicken, I will now go to an eatery to go and eat full chicken, a full chicken, and I will not pay? And because I choose not to pay, that is what is right to me. And because you are asking me for money, it is wrong for you to be asking me money because I have the liberty to choose what is right and wrong for my own sake at any point in time. This is one of the weaknesses of the natural law school. And even it is very dangerous. This will lead us to the end of this class. I'm very grateful that you watch this lesson from the beginning to the end. If this is your first time on this channel, I will urge you to please subscribe to this channel and also press the notification button so that you'll be personally notified any other time we release any other content that will be beneficial to you. Till another time that you and I shall be meeting, I wish you a wonderful legal day ahead.